I'm wondering, how am I going to do this review without being a little biased, because this is one of my favorite Mercedes-Benz cars, guys. And yeah, I know a lot of people don't associate with it that well because of the boxy shape and so on, but I don't know, it's just so appealing to me. Otherwise, welcome to the channel. It's Siwa, and I appreciate that you're here with me today. Look, this is the updated GLB 220D, which means we're coming in with a 2-liter turbocharged engine. This time around, in this updated one, it's a mild hybrid system that is there as well, and it's pushing out 140 kilowatts, 400 Newton meters of torque, and we're going to see how it performs. Talking about performance, one thing that I haven't done with the GLB, the previous one that I tested on the channel, it was sitting on low profile tires. I wasn't comfortable in doing it on gravel, and I was thinking, I did this car on the tar road, I did this car at night, but now I'm wondering how is it on gravel, because I knew that the previous one, if I was to test it, it wasn't going to give us proper feedback due to the tires that were there. But this one is fitted with the 19-inch Pirellis. I hope they're going to perform well on gravel. So we're going to talk about it when we are on the road, but it's going to be a gravel one. Without further ado, you know how we do it on the channel. Everything else we're going to discuss on the way. Let's go. These stars, Mercedes stars on here, already on our gravel, guys. Hey. Okay, let me just get in here. This is my reaction. I can't fake it afterwards. I can't. So, but so far, composure. Ooh. But does it still hold water? That's something that you also have to ask yourself all the time. Does it still hold water that this car is a Mercedes? It's Alright guys, let's be on our way before it gets late. Yeah, the GLB 220D. Let's start it. Washer fluid. It's okay, man. So this seat belt is getting ready to just lock me in place. But otherwise, guys, like I said, I like this car, and I'm gonna be as honest as possible though, because I just drove it a bit now, just on gravel like this, but it was just literally just driving like 20 or something. So I don't think I can regard that as a test. So we're gonna do this first test together. And yeah, I think besides that, we're talking about a car that is, let's just talk while we're getting out of this place. It's a nice place as well. Quiet, tranquil. Yeah, so we're talking 1,030,000 something just to get this car. And for sure, you know, it's not gonna be looking like this, because this is the MG package one for interior and exterior. And if you want the one that is just like progressive, I don't think you're gonna like this car, and I don't even like it myself. And I think that's one of the reasons why people don't really like this car. But what I like about it as well is that it's a long car. It doesn't look big, but it's like more than 4.6 meters, which means you can spec it as a 7-seater as well, but you're gonna need to add, I think, around close to 20k or something like that. I'll put it on the screen as well, to actually spec it as a 7-seater. But if I was to buy this car, I think from my side as well, yeah, I'd probably take it as a 7-seater actually, because this one is a 5-seater, and in a 5-seater configuration like this, of course, you get an advantage of a bigger boot, which is more than the GLC coupe that we tested last. And yeah, how much is that boot again? I think it's like 580 or something like that, 580 liters. But I'll just confirm. Of course, I'll put the stuff on the screen. I'm driving slow because we will drive much better, or quicker rather, when we get to the gravel road, and it's not far from here. So when it comes to this one, as I was saying, that it's not going to come looking like this, of course, outside, you'll see that it is the AMG package, which is an additional package that you pay for, of course. And then you get this night package, which is blacking out some of the stuff like the mirrors, and you'll see as well the trim on the windows. You'll see as well that you get that outside. And then these rims that are here, as much as they look standard for AMG, they are not. You pay extra as well, because this 19-inch, you'll see that they're also like blacked out a bit, so you pay for that as well. It doesn't come free. Why am I like this? Just okay, after that Nissan, I'm going in. No matter who is coming, I'm going in. So that's basically what you get from outside, because the lights that are here, come on. Okay, it's the LED ones that are standard as well. And when I'm looking at the rear ones as well, they look quite nice, because that's where you're going to see the updates outside in terms of the lights. The lighting is quite good. I like how it looks. Yes, it's not overly making it much better than the previous one. The ones at the rear that were like, I don't want to say circle, because they were angular a bit, but I liked how those ones look as well, because on the previous GLC that we tested, they were fitted with that. When it comes to the rims, I think I would spec it with the 20-inch. I understand that sometimes I do gravel, I like going to gravel and so on, but I don't think from the visual appeal point of view, those are the rims that I would put. Yes, they will not be comfortable on gravel, but I'm not always on gravel. Yes, I do test a lot of cars on gravel, but I'm not always on gravel. Then when you come inside, you'll see then that we have a new steering wheel. Of course, this is the AMG one as well. It looks quite cool. We've seen this in the GLC that we drove. We've seen this in the C-classes that we drove as well. And I love this steering wheel. It's functional. It makes you just want to focus on the road, doing everything on this steering wheel. Then you'll see that we have this star, these stars, Mercedes stars on here. We're already on our gravel, guys. Okay, let me just get in here, and I'll talk to you a bit about what's on the interior before we actually hit the road. So on the interior right here, not a lot has changed, besides the fact that you will get some stuff that you have to add to make it look proper, of course. So like I said, the stars is something that is an optional extra that you're getting in here. You'll see at night they lit up. I think I'll do a night review for you as well, as much as we've done the other one. Then here they've changed this part. It used to have a touchpad here, now it's no longer there, and that means now you're getting this button for dynamic to change the driving modes, and then you also get this park distance stuff and the camera and so on. And then it doesn't have much, it's minimal when it comes to that, but you still get your typical aircon controls. This panel in some cars is a little bit shaky, but one thing I love about the GLB and the GLA is that they feel pretty much solid, even compared to the new Mercedes-Benz that we are seeing here. And when it comes to the seats, these are coming with the leather package, of course. This looks pretty nice. They actually look nice, they feel nice as well, and I like that. As much as I would probably take the Alcantara ones that are coming as part of the AMG package. I've seen that in the GLA as well, which I'm going to share with you that video as well. Then you do get a black roof liner here, together with then this panoramic sunroof. Of course, you know, of course, those are optional stuff. You don't just get that for free. But now we are on gravel, right? And we're going to talk about how this car drives, because this one is a 4Matic. Which means we do have the all-wheel drive, and if we move to off-road, let's say driving parking systems are being adapted for this reason. Come on, you only use drive program for driving modes off-road on public roads. Did it say activate program? Yes, activate. Okay, maximum speed then is going to be 110 kilometers per hour. We have off-road. Let's see here, because I know you can get that off-road screen as well. Let's see how that is going to go. I know this road quite well, but it's been a while since I've been on it. So just to show you what we have outside, It's still pretty much clean. It's sitting on Pirellis, which are 19 inches, and they are road tires, of course. You can see that they are almost low profile because they are on the edge. I mean, this is 50 aspect ratio, but otherwise this thing looks amazing. And let's see how it performs then on gravel like this. I mean, this engine, I love it. These spectacles of mine, they keep disturbing me a bit when I'm on gravel. So let me just put this thing properly so that we can see how it performs. We are clean. Alright, let's see what's this all about, because it has the 4-wheel drive system. I understand these front wheel bias, but when you need the grip, when you need the grip, it will send some of the torque to the rear wheel so that you can be able to get that. It's on demand basically when it's like this. And I've done this gravel with the what was that, the top spec Everest Platinum, and the way it felt, it was probably the best drive that I've had on gravel. And this car, when I know for sure that this car is not necessarily the most well insulated, and it is owing to its shape. Of course, you get some wind noise here and there, and that's the thing for me, that sometimes you're not feeling that comfortable, that, you know what, I have that $1 million Mercedes in my hands right here. But otherwise, when it comes to how it's handling this road is quite smooth, but it's going to be a little bit rough just ahead. So we will see how it performs. Okay, but so far, composure. Ah, man. Do you know, I don't like composure. I don't like cars that don't have composure. I don't like it when a car is rattling as well. And in here right now, we are quite comfortable. We are comfortable, but I need to stop so that I can just confirm that we are still shooting properly, guys. This is my reaction. I can't fake it afterwards. I can't. So I just need to check that all is well. I think we're good. We are good. So let me do that. Okay, let's see how it picks up now. We are clear. Oh, there was some wheel spin there, but once it's on the go, oh man, this thing goes. It goes. I love this 2-liter turbocharged engine from Mercedes, actually. And yes, it's not the greatest when you're picking up, but when you're already on the road, the way it settles down, the way it smooths out, like the sounds and so on, the engine noise, I'm always quite impressed with how they've done it, and especially because it's a 2-liter. And sometimes you find that you're moving a car that weighs a lot but doesn't feel like it, and that's the greatest of things that you can expect from any car. I mean, if a car can do that, for me, I don't see how I can complain as to how it drives. And when it comes to the GLB, the agility thereof, it's much better, despite this car being long. That I'm finding I'm much more comfortable in how it turns and how it's taking the curves compared to other cars of similar size, which I've driven, and I felt like, you know what, you need to be a little careful around the curves and so on. Mercedes does that very well. And yeah, in here right now as well, like I said, composure. Okay. No, I'm impressed. I said I'm not going to be biased though, but you can see that there's no reason for me to be biased because this thing is pretty much solid right now. Let me just put these wheels on these rough things on the road and just feel the suspension. It's quite comfortable. I can't even complain much about how it feels right now, despite me thinking that it wasn't going to be that comfortable, because it does feel a little bit rough on some of the bumps that it's taking on the normal roads. But when I'm here right now, because I'm expecting worse, it slipped a bit there. So I needed to just be careful and hold it back. But hey, it's not your platinum average comfortable, but it is quite comfortable. In fact, much more than I was expecting. And like I said, when it comes to cars like this, I know how solid it is, because when I was driving the new ones with the screen here, you get a little careful when it comes to like gravel like this. You start thinking, is it gonna be rattling, because there's some squeaking that I had here and there. Luckily on the GLC, only the GLCs where I experienced that it's much better, but in these older models ones in this kind of spec, I'm finding that it is pretty much solid. I can't even complain much about it. Okay, let's pull it again and see. Nah, we're good here, guys. I can't even complain much. So back to the everything else that this car offers. This car is spec'd, did I say that? That is spec'd with like 200k specs right now. And what you're going to find in here is pretty much everything that I would spec it with. And when it comes to the navigation system here, it doesn't have the 360-degree camera, because this one is a premium package. Yes, it's an expensive package, but it doesn't come with a 360-degree camera. You need to go to Premium Plus, I think, to get that. But it has the augmented reality navigation system, which is using the front camera. You can use that as well. It's not going to open up every spot. It's only opening when you're turning and so on, but I like that it does that as well. Otherwise, you do get a clean rear view camera as well. And for practicality wise, I mean, this car is pretty much practical being in this car, and that's one of the reasons I like it, because I do have a family, and I'm thinking this is one of the cars that makes sense to me. Like I said, you can spec it as a 7-seater. Even with 7-seater mode, you can put the seats down and still get much more space in the boot. Under the boot as well, there's still some some space that you can use. Yes, there's some sensitive stuff in there, because this one is spec'd with an advanced sound system, which sounds really good. It has a subwoofer in there. Make sure that you don't damage that, but it doesn't have a spare wheel at the same time. Otherwise, the spaces inside, you can't go wrong with the GLB, guys. Go to the previous GLB review that we've done. You'll see how I've put all these things together, the spaces and so on and so on. I can't even complain about that. This branch, did it just fall now? Oh, someone is cutting this, because I was like, hey, but nah, this thing just fell in front of me right now. So yeah, I can't complain about the practicality, the spaces inside and everything else. It's always something that I applaud for the GLC. It looks small, but because it's long, I mean, measuring more than 4.6 meters, a 5-seater as well. At the back, you can't even complain much. The spaces inside, the bins, the door bins, everything else, I can't complain much about it as well. I just like I said, I'm not gonna be, what is this thing? But yes, but I'm a little bit biased right now, because I like this car. I like this car. And now the way it drives here, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Guys, let me just play this sound system for you. This is the advanced sound system. I think it's 10 speakers with a subwoofer at the back. Why is it not? Let's play it and see. All right. Okay, now I'm starting to hear some rattling. But let's see how it reduces the road noise. That's, of course, it can reduce the road noise. You can hear right now that I'm back to some road noises when I'm taking like hard bumps and so on. There is some feedback that is coming in, but I can't complain. This steering wheel doesn't even show any, like, doesn't even feel like it has some vibrations that like I feel like, you know what, I'm uncomfortable. I'm pretty much comfortable in this car. And I know that I said I'm not gonna be biased and so on, but believe me, I'm not being biased right now. Actually, it's a pretty solid car. And probably one thing that I know people don't like about it is the looks, because it's angular and so on and so on. But like I said, that's probably the best part for me. But when I think about this car and where it fits, as to whether I would buy it right away, if I do have $1 million and I'm looking for a car like this, and I can even spec it as a 7-seater, I'll probably consider it. I will look at this car and I'll think again, especially when I'm thinking about the likes of your Tiggo 8 Pro. You know, I'm thinking about your Sportage as much as it's not a 7-seater. In fact, when I look at the Tiggo 8 Pro, because this car, I mean, spec like this, it can buy 2 of those cars. That's something that you can never really reduce in your mind, because the Tiggo 8 Pro also comes with the all-wheel drive with the Tiggo 8 Pro Max. And I'm thinking, yes, I didn't feel like when I was in the 2-wheel drive one, I didn't feel like I can take it right away, but I'll not forget that for that price it's something else. Then you also get your H6. You're thinking, man, if I was to get into that GT, it was one of the best drives that I've done as well. And from that perspective, when you're thinking about that, you're left with probably one thing: this is a Mercedes after all, and to build a name, it's not a small feat. So from that perspective, I think you can still say, you know what, I'm driving a Mac. But does it still hold water? That's something that you also have to ask yourself all the time. Does it still hold water that this car is a Mercedes? It's not always the case, because one thing that I can think about, if I want to feel like I'm in the most premium car and it's giving me almost the same feeling as this car, as much as I love it, but when I think about the Sportage and I put it next to this one, that top spec Sportage, that GT line, I don't know. If I was to look at it and I consider what this car offers, I might just pick the Sportage. But on any other day, I love this car, and I wouldn't mind picking it despite the price, because that's probably the only thing that is throwing me off right now, starting already at above 2 million. I love this. Why am I saying 2 million? 1 million, and it's like a 2-liter engine that I love so much. Of course, 1 million doesn't look like it's a lot of money right now, because almost everyone is speccing this, or rather pricing their cars at $1 million. But hey guys, from my side, 1 million, it's not a small feat. And when I have to consider that cars these days are just so expensive, but there's just a lot of competition out there that you can consider as well, I think that's just the only disadvantage that I see with this car. But otherwise, it feels pretty much solid to me. This was not necessarily like one of those reviews that I go into detail, because I've reviewed this car. I've showed you what are the new stuff that is there as well, and just how solid this car is. I don't regret saying it's one of my favorite cars, because it is just that solid.
Excuse me, please don't forget your phone.
No, I didn't forget it. I didn't forget it, believe me. So that's how it looks now, and it's a little dirty. I will need to take it to the car wash. But hey, like I said guys, I think for me, this is one of the best cars that Mercedes has, and I know that a lot of people probably are not agreeing with me right now, but I love it so much. I love how it looks, I love how it feels to drive as well, and I can't really complain much. Without further ado, if you want more details on the GLB, go to our EQB review. You'll see the electric version. It's just this car basically, and we did as well the GLB, the previous one before the facelift. For me, it looked quite amazing as well, but this one as well, you can see in this spectral blue as well, it looks quite amazing. Without further ado, then I'll cut it here. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Really appreciate it, and I am out.